What's up, guys? I'm Marco, and I'm joined today with
Benzo, Kawaii,
And Zach.
Hey. And where y'all coming from?
straight out of Bridgeville, Delaware, man.
Sweet. Happy to have y'all. And who are we gonna be listening to today?
Benzo, Kawaii.
Sweet, man. These tracks. Tell me about them.
Well,
The first three that you've picked. I know it was last minute when we got on, but what was it about these three tracks that stood out for you?
For Fit In is it's not typically the type of music I usually make, but it's got a very familiar sound that everybody knows. It's one of those rap songs where like you hear it and you instantly know it without knowing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two are just like two really personal songs that are like, I wouldn't consider them radio songs, but at the same time, they're so fresh for like a rap take,
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them's basically like an R&B ballad with like rap in it, and the other one's just like, it sounds sonically like every other rap song, but then like I get into this real like half depressed, half motivated type of thing in it. And that's Down Bad. The other one I was talking about was Renee. But I feel like they're so, compared to what you hear usually from rappers, it's such a fresh take.
Sweet, man. Tell me about so if we're going chronologically, which one's the oldest?
Well, I'd say Fit In would be the oldest because I had that song written in like 2019, 2018-ish, like right after my project that came out in like 2019, I think. It was called I'm Your Fault. Like I was in Dollar General working, and I was listening to beats for some reason. Like, I didn't really care too much about that job. Just listening to beats in my spare time, like when I'm like in the middle of customers, and I heard that beat, and like I was like, it did not matter what it was, I did whatever. And then basically the song was written right after that. So yeah, I've had that one for a while. Then Renee came after a heartbreak, and then Down Bad was like very recent. It was the only song I dropped in 2020.
Okay. And how long have you been recording?
I've been recording since like 7th grade.
7th grade. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to start with Fit In, the oldest one. Tell me about this song. In itself, the process, the making.
Let me see. With Fit In was pretty simple to make. Like once I got the hook in my head, it never left my head because it's so catchy. In the verses, I'm basically telling a story about, well, not the first verse. The first verse, I'm just talking. Like every rapper loves to talk, and like I'm just talking junk. And then the third verse is me telling a story about some troubling times that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like talk about it too much, but I did a bad thing, But since the song's about fitting in, you got to talk about it,
Okay, and Zach. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with them. Tell me your take. Tell us about Benzo Kawaii.
Benzo Kawaii. All right, man. When did we became friends since like early high school? Well, when I was like a freshman.
Yeah.
And this man would he perform at the talent shows at Woodbridge High School, man. I still got the recording up on my Facebook, man.
You gotta share this with us. Okay, yes.
Okay, yeah.
We need that. We gotta put that up.
Away, man. But he's been hard at it, and like we've all been through some stuff like together, our friend group, and like as people change, the music changes, and like his music has changed over the years, and like a lot of the songs I like, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always like, he plays something for me on the ride here, and we're bumping to it, man.
Sweet, man. Tell me about what's your relationship been like with music? You said you
with music, man. Like, I guess my inspirations, it would be like some heavy on. My rotations are like classic rock and hip hop, man. So I'm between like I could be on a playlist and some Billy Joel will come up, followed by like some Denzel Curry. So it's always like a toss up, man. Whatever I'm feeling, But all different influences, and I'm always trying to like expand into new genres and stuff.
I love. And how so? With what would be your favorite track Benzo Kawaii, not even including these three.
Fuego.
Fuego, oh my god.
Tell me about that.
Fuego is just like a fun song, man. It's an old one.
Uh-huh.
What year was that, bro?
2016.
2016. This is like the peak almost. I'm like our friendship, bro. From like 2016 to like 2018, man. Te quiero mucho.
Oh my god.
Little Spanish track.
Yeah, he's got a Spanish track, man, and it's pretty good in my opinion.
Everybody,
He might
excellent.
not agree, but I like it, man.
I hate that song.
What was you know, we were talking about, you said you're doing only one Spanish verse here, one Spanish song there.
Yeah.
What made you want to do Te quiero mucho? What made you want to go in with that?
Oh.
And when are we going to get some more Spanish out of you?
First and foremost, shout out to Cardi B because
Hey!
she low-key inspired it. Like
Uh-huh.
I heard I Like It for the first time, and I was like, you know what, I could do this because like a lot of people don't know this. My grandfather is Cuban.
Okay.
He spoke fluent Spanish,
Mhm.
and I never got to meet him, but I got his middle name,
Uh-huh.
so I kind of took it upon myself to learn at least.
What's your middle name?
Glance.
Glance.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I took it upon myself to learn a little bit of Spanish, you know, so I could at least be able to have basic conversations with people. And then, like, one day I just heard that beat, and I was like, I can speak a little Spanish on here. And then that's basically how that came about, you know. But shout out to Cardi B.
Yeah, I mean, that's, shout out to Cardi B. You know, it's sick to, get that inspiration, have that the inclination to explore it. You know, I think the mission statement for the show is bridging the gaps in the community through music. And it's cool that you're able to, find that connection to your grandfather even without meeting him through music. And I think that exploration of yourself is beneficial not only for you but for everybody, because getting to see an other side of you and other flavors coming out in your sounds is definitely interesting and beneficial for us all. But I find it to be interesting that you got Fuego back on 2016. I want to know more about that track too.
Golly.
Had to air you up, bro.
Man, Fuego, oh my God. That's that one's like one of those really immature tracks. Like that was
Why you call it immature?
Cause it's really just like it's really one of them early, well not early, but like SoundCloud era songs where like everybody was popping on SoundCloud. Like it's really it's one of them songs where it's like now I would never make a song like that because it's misogynistic and everything. Like it's like
No package.
like I'm not even the same person as I was back then. Like man, thinking about how different my headspace was back then, man, like you can just hear, like he was saying earlier, you can just hear like the difference in sound I have now, like to go from a song like Fuego to go, I won't say Te Quiero Mucho is more mature, but it's definitely, the sound's more mature, you know?
And what year was Te Quiero Mucho?
It's like 2018.
2018.
Now, Fuego, bro, was this recorded at Gary's?
No.
Partially or nah?
No, I recorded that with my boy Penny Kane. Shout out to Penny Kane.
Penny Kane.
And shout out Gary, man.
Yeah, shout out to Gary.
And Gary, tell me about Penny Kane and Gary.
Well, Penny's one of my friends that I met through my cousin Taco. He's another really great artist from Delaware. He's a producer and everything. He's, oh my God, I gotta work with him soon. He's really dope. I gotta put you on to some of his music. Actually.
Please.
I definitely will. Gary is a friend that I met through another friend, Ken, and then I basically brought my friend group together. Honestly, I met Gary and Ken, and then I brought Zach into the friend group, and then we all just became like this big circle of friends.
Sweet, man, sweet. Awesome. Well, we're gonna go in with Renee by Benzo Kawaii. You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5 FM. Keep it locked.
What's up, guys? This is Davion, and you're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5 FM, Cambridge, Maryland. A great place to be.
Tell me about musical influences, like your parents. What was playing in the house when you were growing up?
See, my mom, she, because I grew up with my mom. Like my dad was in my life, but you know they were never really like couple, you know. But yeah, my mom played a lot of older music. But I mostly listen to whatever.
What's older music for you?
I mean like older music, like like 60s, 70s.
Nice,
You know,
okay.
like. But my grandmother was more. I would sit with my grandmother more than I would sit with my mom. So my mom worked a lot, and my grandma's favorite singer was Luther Vandross. Like I got like profound respect for Luther because ever since I was a kid I was into his music, which is weird because like I didn't even really like music that much until I turned like I say when I was in like second grade is when I really started to appreciate music. But like before that I would listen to like Luther and
Had it just ingrained.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like A House Is Not a Home still hits different every time I
Yes.
hear it. Every time I hear it, it hits different. I had a dance routine to "Falling" by Alicia Keys when I could barely talk. I was like 3 or 4 years old. Used to run out the hallway, sliding on my knees, singing it.
Do we still remember these dance moves?
I hope not.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Tell me about what was playing when you was little, Zach.
When I was little, man, like it was a variety. Like I said, like mostly I'd say like classic rock, but there's also like all kinds of different influences in there, you know. And it's like it's been like imprinted on me, man. Like Journey, AC/DC, all kinds of. I see you got a Stones shirt on. I think.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
this is Kurt
Yep.
Cobain, Rolling
Yep.
Stones. This is Rolling Stones cover.
That's my dad's band, man. Like, and just even to this day, man. Like we work on cars and stuff in the garage, and it's playing on the radio, like classic rock, all that. But otherwise, like as I got older, I started to get into, like from middle school, you start out like with the basic hip hop, like from your friends, like people are bumping it in the hallway, like, oh, what's this, you know? And like as I'm getting older, I'm like actually looking into discographies and like samples and stuff. Like for me, Kanye West is now like a big influence on me. And from him, I'm like looking into his samples that he uses and finding like new artists for me to get into, you know. Like he does Otis Redding a lot. He uses him a lot, man. I love his music, man.
Great.
Sweet. Okay. It's very interesting seeing as you guys were describing those, you know, describing the situations, like, you know, sitting and being around with your grandmother and working on cars with your dad. Like, tell me, are these things that you still work on cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the other day, we got a '67 Bronco right now.
Nice.
Been tearing that thing apart, and yeah. To this day, man, like I got a 1980 El Camino too that we worked on a bit. So.
Dang.
And my dad, he's a mechanic, so he knows what he's doing. He's been doing that for like over 30 years, and I like learn from him.
And that's he blasts the music while he working.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And when you were describing the going through the beats at Dollar General, I think that's something we can relate to. You know, being at work, that's like the music you're listening to as you're doing on your job is a big portion, I feel, of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's something you're doing the most. And what is something? Do you still? Is your grandmother still around?
Nah.
She's not?
Nah, grandma died in 2019, April 28th.
Okay. 20. So that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. And but you got that connection. We got Luther. What are some of her other favorites?
She used to listen to it's crazy because Luther was like the only main person she listened to, but like she had a CD with like a whole bunch of different songs that she liked, like
a mix CD?
Yeah.
Okay, grandma had a mixtape.
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
She was like really old, but she was really hip, like hipper than you would think. She had Diamonds and Pearls by Prince. I don't even like that song anymore because she played it so much.
Come on, that's a classic.
It is.
Yes.
Like before she played it all the time, I loved it. But like when I heard it every day, it got crazy. And it's a song All Night Long.
Oh yes, that's
Lionel. Is it
Lionel Richie. Yes, she's Nicole Richie's father.
Yeah. She used to play that like every day. I'd be sitting around on the computer, and then she turns on this CD. We're gonna have a party. I'm like, yo.
How would you say, and some of these artists have influenced your music today?
I think the only one that she really listened to a lot that really inspired me was Prince, because Prince always like switches up his style or tries to be like really diverse in his music, and I try to take that and apply it to my own music. I try to be as diverse as I can. But yeah, I don't really use like Luther as an inspiration because like I don't think I can sing that good. You know, I feel like maybe the songwriting aspect of it, but like the singing was new. I couldn't.
But you be singing, man. You do be singing
I
good.
try.
And so it's like I feel like having that a melodic understanding is definitely a big part. And listening to Luther, yeah, of course you're gonna understand melody. He's the king of it. And I think what's some of your more melodic music songs that you have out?
Renee's one of them. If we're going to SoundCloud, because Renee's streaming everywhere, but if we go to SoundCloud, I got one song where I'm just singing on an acoustic guitar called STC. That's very melodic. I got a song with shout out to Tim Saunders. I got a song with him.
Hey, shout out Tim.
Called RBF. That's really the hook is like probably one of the best hooks I've ever written in my life. Another song with Tim called IDK, where the hook is really melodic. I try to dip into melodies a lot because I feel like even if you're not the strongest singer, if you know how to work like your melodies and your harmonies, like you can make something work, honestly. Like especially with the right person engineering your music, you could definitely like make something work with your melodies and stuff.
Sweet man. Tell me about Down Bad. Number 2. Is this chronologically number 2?
No, Down Bad is the
number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Renee then?
Renee is a story about a girl that I was involved with. She was dealing with a very toxic guy, and like when we were having a break, if you want to call it that. I hate calling it a break. That's really what it was. And he put her through a lot of things, and I would always tell her like, cause I tried to stay her friend as long as I could, like stop going back to him. He's not good for you. And the song is the story of that. And then of course towards the end of the song, I eventually tell her, like, I can't keep doing this with you. I gotta let you go. I gotta give you some space now, because if you want to keep doing this to yourself, then what am I supposed to be able to do for you?
And you said this is a more melodic song. And what year was this?
This was, I believe, was it? It was either 2019 or 2020. I'm bad with remembering stuff like that.
Tell me about your guys' life now. Bring it current. What's up with and that can be work life, regular life, your project life, the new music, the new album, the possible Spanish track. What we got happening? What's happening in Benzo's world?
Well, I just quit my job, It's just something about not being treated right makes you want to move on to better things,
Most definitely.
So, now I got more time to work on the music. I can announce the name of the project at least. That's all I'm gonna give you, though. The name of the project is Flannel Shirts and Gold Chains.
Flannel Shirts and Gold Chains.
Yeah.
I love. Okay.
This project is going to be a lot about finding duality within yourself and your sound, and mostly my sound. But if anybody else wants to take it and listen to it and be inspired by what I'm saying, that's on them. It's going to be a little different from what I usually do, but I feel like it's gonna be my best work so far from what I've written so far, because it's mostly in the writing process right now. But from what I've written, I think it's gonna be my best piece of work so far.
Dang, man. How long have you been working on this particular project?
Honestly, I kind of just started
sweet.
A month or two ago. I was just sitting around one day and I was like, man, I've been sitting too long. I feel like, because with music, I feel like if you're not consistent, people like to move on from you. Like if you're not already a poppin' artist, people will move on if you're not dropping like every month, basically. Really, like nowadays, people, their attention span is so short. It's like no one wants to sit around and wait for somebody if you're not already successful. They're like, oh, who do you think you are? So I feel like with this project, I'm gonna start being more consistent, and I'm gonna start trying to work on building up my own portfolio. I'm trying to become a bigger artist within like the next couple of years. Mostly with this project, though. I really want this one to be the one that pops off.
Sweet. And that's what I feel is most important. That connection to your music, as long as it's big for you, and then it'll be impactful for somebody, And it's the coming from a real place and a place that you're passionate about, it's gonna connect no matter what, no matter how many people hear it. Whoever does, when it's coming from a real place, they'll resonate. And I'm excited about. Do we have? You said it's still in writing process, so the newest song isn't from this project, right?
No, it's not. It was a loose single.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
But how when you were back to when you were recording, how you said it's been a long break. How has the pandemic affected your creative process, the making of the music, the recording of the music? Has it increased, decreased, stayed the same?
Honestly, I'll say it's kind of decreased because like. I write from experience, and being able to go out and do things in life, it kind of helps me write. Since I've been in the house and like the world's been closed down, like really, I don't have nothing to talk about anymore. Like, I don't even like go through heartbreak that much anymore because like who's gonna break my heart? I'm not going out to see anybody anymore. Like I'm always in the house.
Life's on pause.
Really. Like this has been like the most. I turned 21 last year, and it was like the worst 21 year of all time. Like I barely went out to drink. Like I didn't get drunk for the first time until this year. Like I was supposed to enjoy that year being 21.
I think about that a lot for people, like people going through pivotal moments like that, turning 21, graduating, things that are happening during this pandemic, like how it's incredibly different from what has become the norm. And but I'm excited to see what that looks like coming out of your new project, because like I said, being that it's different, it gives us something fresh and something new. It's new experiences that are being forced on us, and so I'm excited to see what flannel shirts and gold chains is given with this post-pandemic Kawaii, and I think it'll be very, very exciting. But tell me about you, my man Zach. You quiet over there.
Man, there's a lot and a little, man.
A lot and a little.
So let's talk about. I can talk about 2019. That was a kind of a crazy year for me. So I've lived in Bridgeville all my life, Bridgeville, Delaware, and it's, as you know, small state, second smallest state.
Got
so
family up there.
Only so much you can do. Only so many roads you can drive, man. So 2019, like I think it's April 26th was the day I left home. And I went on a road trip, just like across the country, pretty much. So
Nice.
I spent some time in Kentucky with a friend there. Ended up in Missouri. I lived there for 2 months, and then on from there, I went to Nebraska, and I lived there for like 3 months. So like, just traveling,
Dude,
man.
so jealous.
So
jealous. That sounds awesome.
It just opens up your mind, man. Like and it was nice because me, like, especially now, man. Because I'm 21, I'm out and about, and you can go to bars and stuff, but you can't really do much now. So I like networking with people, man.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Like, I saw a post the other day. It's like college can get you so far, but networking can get you indoors that people in college are not gonna.
That's so real, man.
Not gonna
That's the
ever
truth.
see, man. But yeah, and like traveling, it humbled me to a lot because I was going through like a really rough time, like with a breakup, like. Post 2018, the end of that year, and like the traveling, I needed something to put my mind at ease, man. Like I worked a dead end job for like a whole year, and I was at that point where I was like, I hate it here, man. I gotta see some new ground, And then and this past year I was in the girl who I was with then. We went to Mexico. And we ended up
That's
stuck.
2020?
Yeah, we ended up stuck there for 2 months. This was a 2-week trip that turned into a 2-month trip, man.
Was this because of the pandemic?
Yeah, because of the pandemic. Because we got there and then they closed the travel, like the how do you say?
Dang,
Yeah, so
bro,
we were there for a while.
So what did you do? Like 22 months? Like how did you extend?
It was not. It's nice, man. Like it humbled me to a lot and like changed my perspectives on a lot, man. her aunt, she owned a bar, so we would go there. Like before, and this was like in America, it had gotten to the point where it was bad, and there in Mexico, it was just like COVID was just hitting, and people were just like starting to mask up and stuff, you know. So no, but we like walk around the town, and they got the little buses are called combis, and it's like you pay, and change is heavy there, like here we don't use change, or we don't think about like change that much, you know, unless you're at like a parking meter or something. But there, use it on the combi, and it's like it's like public transit, so you can go from town to town for like 8 pesos, man. It's nice.
Sweet, dude. What is that? What inspirations have you gotten out of these, like the road trip, the being stuck trip?
Yeah, like the road trip, man. Like music wise, it just that's when I think I mentioned Kanye earlier, man. But like I think 2018 was when I like dived into his discography and like started listening to affiliates and stuff, man. Like
affiliates,
like Schoolboy Q, Pusha T, etc. Like Daytona by Pusha T. That was like a special place in my heart, man. From like 2019, because that's when because it came out 2018, but 2019, I'm like listening to this man, and I'm like getting into his discography, and I'm like, yo, this is nice. No skips for
no
me.
Skips on Daytona.
Yeah, but and it's funny because at the time I'm living in Nebraska, and I'm just like bumping Pusha T, riding down a country road, man.
This was the road trip soundtrack.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kanye, Schoolboy Q, Pusha T.
Otherwise, man, like recently, or even back earlier when I was in high school, man, I got into Sinatra and like the Rat Pack.
Hey,
I started collecting vinyl, man. I go to flea markets and like yard sales and stuff, and if I see a decent vinyl, I'll pick it up, and I got a record player and I'll play it, man.
Hell yeah.
So that's how I discover a lot of new music. Like this past year, I got into Sandy Shaw.
Okay, tell me about Sandy Shaw.
What's the one song by her, man? Always something there to remind you. That song, man, that's just yep.
Oh shoot, okay.
Yep.
I didn't know the artist.
Yep, so I dived into that, and then like I started listening to her music more, and I'm like, yeah, she's a good vocalist, man. But just stuff like that. It's funny how you come across, and like a lot of times you'll be on like whatever platform looking up music, and you can't find a certain song, but another song comes up. Yep. So you're like listening to that song, and you're like, okay, I like this.
Sweet, man, sweet. Fellas. Both of you, for both of y'all, tell me about Down Bad.
Down Bad,
yeah.
Man. Down Bad came from a dark place, man. I was really hurting when I wrote Down Bad, but you know, this was like early pandemic though. This was like when everything started getting bad. But like, you know, I started seeing how like life around me was changing, and it put me in a dark place. But at the same time, I was like, man, eventually I can get over myself. I just have to put that into words. So I heard the beat. You know, it's funnily enough. I said funnily. Is that the right word?
Funnily enough. It's gonna be my new vocabulary. Funnily.
I keep forgetting if that's a real word or not. I could have made that up, but it's a I went on YouTube, looked up Playboy Cardi type beat. Don't know why. Have never made a song like Playboy Cardi before, but I heard the beat and I made something different with it. It doesn't sound like a Playboy Cardi song at all. I think shout out to Tim again. Tim told me that.
Hey.
He was like, this doesn't even sound like a Playboy Cardi beat. I mean, a Playboy Cardi song. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, the song's all about taking your dark place and turning it into a bright light. You know, at least putting a bright light in there so you can see something. You know, like you can see a path at least. You know, that's really the purpose of the song. You know, knowing that right now your head is like in the clouds. But there's a sunny day waiting for you if you just take enough time, you know?
Your head is in the clouds, but there's a sunny day waiting for you.
So that's a quote.
Hell yeah. He said. Zach, you tell me about Down Bad.
I'm gonna just have to like emphasize on what he just said, like, because as somebody who suffers from depression, man, you just gotta you just in like cyclical depression, man. You'll go into mode of you'll have a few days where you're like nothing's getting better, and then you'll have that one day where it'll like be a catalyst, and it'll start going back up again. So basically, just looking for that, like you said, the sunny day, man. Otherwise, like yeah, just getting through it yourself. And self-reliance, I guess.
I commend you, for the addressing, being able to acknowledge the mental health issues, and then finding ways to address it healthily and creatively.
Yeah.
That's been a big focus for us, especially this season. And before we close out, going into Down Bad, some of the questions that we had these came from fellow mental health specialist. She works at Macy's Lane, Gray Jimenez.
Okay.
And so I'll pose these to you guys, since you both brought up the acyclical depression. These are things that are rampant, especially in our age group, especially during times like this where there's so much solitude and seclusion. And finding ways to deal with these things that are not harmful or toxic, or something positive, is something that we all struggle with and need. And I think it would be beneficial for everyone, finding ways to put a bright light into these dark times. And so questions for you guys. Where do you feel a source of love is for you?
Mostly from my family, honestly. Whenever I am depressed, I try. Lately, I've been okay, but every now and then you have your days where everything's just going bad. I tend to go to my mom or my dad, without even telling them something's wrong with me. I'll just go to them and then find some comfort in them, you know. My mom, she's really good for that. Like, my mom is my dad too. They're clowns. They are funny. Like, I can just come up and just look a certain way, and they'll just start cracking jokes, and it's like the funniest thing ever.
Healing through laughter.
Yeah, oh my God, that might be better than music, honestly. Like, if I wasn't making music, I'd have to be a comedian, because laughter is like they say, laughter's medicine. Like,
it really is.
It's probably like the best feeling, just to have one of those gut busting laughs. Like, it hurts, but it helps, you know.
Dang. Okay. So family, mom, dad, going to the source and finding that even if you don't discuss it, just having that around helps you to cope and deal.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey. How about you, my man?
For me, man, love. I'll keep it relative for music. The love for music, man. Like, I got playlists for all different moods, and some songs bring back memories, good or bad, And you got ones like, if you got people that are gone in your life and you got a song that you can listen to make you think of them, it brings you back to good times, and it can lift your spirits,
Helping you remember and relive those good moments. Sweet. Lift your spirits through music. Can definitely relate, y'all. What are affirmations you need in your life, or you need or use?
All right, so don't roast me, but what do you mean by affirmations?
Okay, no, so literally that's just like affirmation is just to affirm, when you reaffirm in yourself. Okay. So, for instance, saying like, I want to go up in more saying like, I'm ready for today. It's like just a personal affirmation. Affirmations or mantras, some people call them. What are some things that you tell yourself to, keep yourself on the right track, get yourself back on the right track if you aren't feeling on the right track, or such and such?
My main one for me is just thinking like, all right, so if anything bad did happen to me, or if I were to go down a dark path, I got kids looking up to me. My siblings got a lot of kids. I don't want to ever put them in a position where they got to explain to somebody, oh, my uncle wasn't strong enough, my uncle couldn't do this, my uncle couldn't do that. I always want to be somebody they can look up to, like, because, as they're getting older, they're going to go through similar things. And, a lot of people don't talk about this, but in the black community, we kind of look at depression as, like, just something you can just be like, oh, that's nothing. That's just you're just tripping right now. But in reality, it is. We all struggle with it,
Yeah.
and I don't ever want anybody that I love to have to go through that and think that they don't have anyone to talk to. You know, so even if they see me going through it, I want to be able to get through it and then talk to them about it whenever they're going through it. Like, hey, you know, things will get better eventually. You know, because a lot of people won't tell you that. A lot of people will tell you you're just tripping or you're just going through a phase. Like, no, you need to know that it's okay to go through these things, and the more you go through it, the more you'll understand your own emotions. You know. But yeah, a lot of people don't like to talk about that. But I love telling people, especially people younger than me that don't understand their emotions fully. I love telling them, like, you'll be okay. You know, eventually you'll be okay.
Letting yourself feel.
Yeah.
And was that something that was mental health? Was it addressed in your childhood?
No. Honestly, I used to just go through it a lot. You know, like I never felt comfortable talking about it because, again, like, you know, growing up in that type of household, you know, nothing against like my family or anything, because I love them to death, but like, you know, they wouldn't talk about it. You know. Yeah,
and like you said, it is commonplace, especially in the Black community. Gray Jimenez, that's her focus. You know, she focuses in the Latin community. It's also very heavily Roman Catholic. My family's half Mexican, so on both sides, it's a big struggle, and that's definitely something that we try to push for. And I think, you know, I definitely commend you for being able to find that within yourself, to be able to acknowledge it and address it. And like I said, definitely something I think will be inspiring for the people that are looking at you, and even if they aren't able to voice it themselves, having that example, seeing you being able to deal with and express and feel is completely 100% beneficial for them, you know, to help them cope, because we don't get that a lot especially from like parents, households, our interior family. It's just now kind of being introduced on a more mainstream scale, even in most parts of America. And so getting it out there, finding ways to to cope, I think are very necessary. And Zach, tell me about some affirmations you tell yourself to get you through those times.
Yeah, for me, man, like, and this is one that I've like instated recently, like in my mind, is wake up today basically less ignorant than I was yesterday. So like try to have a takeaway, you know, be it anywhere, talking to somebody at the supermarket, like going out and doing something, working on something, just like have some more knowledge going in the next day, and every day you're just gonna keep building. But another one, like, and this is one that's always gonna be in my head because my mom like ingrained it in my mind, man. Like addressing like the suicide, man, is it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And that's been like whenever like she has depression as well, and I know my grandmother had it, so it's kind of like a family thing, you know, like it's been going down the line. But yeah, she always like tried to reaffirm that in my head, like whenever I was just down, you know, when you're in low points, just that phrase, and it's always gonna be in my head, man. Like that's one of them things that's just gonna be back there.
A permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
Most definitely. Yep. That's something we need, man.
Can't go back.
Then real quick before we go into Down Bad, I'm gonna have you guys complete the sentence. Someday I'll
be the greatest rapper of all time.
Boom. It's happening.
Be rich.
Hey, it's happening. Sweet, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. It was a pleasure having you on. Can't wait to have y'all back.
Appreciate it, bro. I would love to come back.
Please, always. We'll definitely have you on soon. Looking forward to. We'll be blasting some more music, some more Benzo Kawaii coming through. And but up next we have Down Bad by Benzo Kawaii on DORiS Radio, WHCP 101.5.